The world erupted the moment Taehyung's speech hit the airwaves. Some praised his courage. Others ridiculed his defiance. Investors hesitated, family members seethed, and the well, her name trended alongside theirs, her bitterness now on full display. But none of that mattered when Taehyung stepped off the stage and into Jungkook's sight. Jungkook didn't wait. He ran into his arms, ignoring the flashing cameras that still lingered in the distance. His fingers clutched at Taehyung's suit jacket, his face buried against his chest. "You really did it," Jungkook whispered, his voice shaking. "You told the whole world you love me." Taehyung tightened his embrace, resting his chin on Jungkook's hair. "I'd tell them 1,000 times if I had to." Back home, the consequences came fast. Taehyung's phone rang endlessly, angry board members, furious relatives, a string of demands to fix the mess. But for every threat, there was also support. Letters from young people thanking him for his bravery, messages from employees who finally saw him as human instead of untouchable. Jungkook sat on the couch, knees stuck to his chest, listening to the chaos. At one point, Taehyung hung up mid-call, tossed the phone aside, and sat beside him, pulling him close. "You don't have to carry this weight," Jungkook whispered, guilt swimming in his eyes. "This storm, it's because of me." Taehyung shook his head, his gaze fierce. "No. It's because I didn't protect us sooner. But I won't let anyone steal our peace again." Jungkook's lips trembled. He cupped Taehyung's face with both hands, tears finally spilling over. "Taehyung, I don't care about the empire, the money, any of it. I just care about you. About us. If we lose everything tomorrow but still have each other, I'll be happy." Taehyung's throat tightened. He leaned forward, pressing their foreheads together. "Then we'll build a world of our own. One they can never touch." That night, when the house was finally quiet, Jungkook curled against Taehyung in bed. His voice was soft, but steady. "Promise me something, anything, no matter how loud it gets outside. Don't let go of my hand." Taehyung kissed his knuckles, holding them firmly against his chest. "Never. Not even for a second." And with that, Jungkook finally closed his eyes, not in fear, but in peace. The storm outside their walls didn't take long to find its way inside. 3 days after the press conference, the heavy gates of their estate opened for an uninvited guest. Taehyung's father. He walked in with the air of a man who owned not just the company, but the ground beneath their feet. His voice echoed through the hall as Jungkook stood frozen near the living room. "Kim Taehyung," the elder man boomed, "we need to talk." Taehyung descended the stairs calmly, though his jaw was set tight. "Then speak." His father's eyes shifted toward Jungkook, sharp as knives. "Alone, no," Taehyung said flatly. "Anything you have to say to me, you can say in front of my husband." The word husband cut through the air like a challenge. Jungkook's heart pounded, but Taehyung's hand slipped into his, grounding him. His father's face darkened. "This marriage is destroying everything I built. The family name, the company's stability, our alliances. You are throwing away generations of power for a boy who brings you nothing but scandal." Jungkook flinched, shame washing over him. He tried to pull his hand back, but Taehyung held it tighter. "I'm not throwing anything away," Taehyung said coolly. "I'm protecting what matters most." What matters most is legacy, his father barked. "This empire. And you would risk it all for him." Taehyung's voice rose, sharp and unyielding. "Yes. For him. 1,000 times." Yes. The elder Kim's eyes narrowed. He stepped closer, his voice dripping with disdain as he looked at Jungkook. And you? Do you think you deserve him? Do you think you can give him what we've given him? Power, influence, a future? Jungkook's throat closed. He wanted to shrink, to disappear under the weight of that glare. But then, Taehyung squeezed his hand again, steady and unbreakable. Jungkook lifted his chin, his voice soft but firm. I may not give him power, but I can give him love. I can give him a heart that will never betray him. For the first time, the elder Kim faltered. Just slightly. But his voice was still hard when he turned back to his son. If you continue down this path, don't expect my support. Don't expect the company to stand with you. Taehyung didn't hesitate. Then I'll build my own. The silence that followed was deafening. Finally, his father turned, his footsteps echoing like thunders as he left the house. When the door shut, Jungkook collapsed against Taehyung, trembling. You'll lose everything. Taehyung held him close, kissing his hair softly. Then I'll lose it. Because none of it means anything without you. And though fear still lingered, Jungkook's heart swelled, because for the first time, he wasn't standing behind Taehyung's shadow. They were standing together, side by side. The following week was chaos. True to his word, Taehyung's father pulled strings. Investors backed away. Business partners froze contracts. The company's stock dipped, headlines screaming about instability. Taehyung was calm on the surface, issuing statements, working late into the night. But Jungkook saw the exhaustion in his shoulders, the silent battles behind his eyes. And every time Taehyung came home and wrapped his arms around him, Jungkook's guilt grew heavier. One evening, Jungkook waited by the door, wringing his hands. When Taehyung stepped inside, loosening his tie, Jungkook blurted out, maybe you should let me go. Taehyung froze. What? Jungkook's voice trembled, his eyes filling with tears. This is destroying you. Your company, your family, everything you've worked for. If I wasn't here. Don't finish that sentence, Taehyung snapped, sharper than Jungkook had ever heard. He strode forward, gripping Jungkook's shoulders. His voice was low, burning. Do you really think any of this matters more than you? Jungkook's tears spilled over. But I'm ruining everything. Taehyung silenced him with a kiss, fierce and unyielding, stealing the words from his mouth. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against Jungkook's, his voice breaking. You are not my ruin, Jungkook. You are the only thing keeping me sane. The only thing I won't sacrifice. If I lose the company, I'll build another. If I lose my family, then so be it. But if I lose you, his breath shuddered. That, I could never survive, Jungkook sobbed softly, burying his face in Taehyung's chest. The weight of guilt didn't vanish, but something stronger settled in its place, Taehyung's unwavering love, fierce and immovable. Later that night, as they lay in bed, Jungkook whispered against Taehyung's skin, then let me stay. Not as your burden, but as your strength. Let me fight this with you. Taehyung kissed his forehead gently, pulling him closer. That's all I've ever wanted, and for the first time since the storm began, Jungkook didn't feel like dead weight. He felt like Taehyung's anchor. The calm didn't last. 2 weeks later, the world woke to headlines splashed across every news site. Exclusive. CEO Kim's husband's hidden past. Is Jungkook the real scandal? It was a brutal expose. Fabricated stories, twisted truths. Photos from Jungkook's university days, distorted to look compromising. Rumors about him being a gold digger, a nobody who trapped Taehyung into marriage, and at the center of it all, quotes from a source close to the Kim family. Jungkook didn't need to guess who. He sat on the edge of their bed, phone clutched and shaking hands, his chest hollow. Every cruel comment felt like a knife. When Taehyung found him, Jungkook's eyes were already red, his lips trembling. "It's him," Jungkook whispered. "Your father." "Huh. They won't stop until I'm gone." Taehyung's anger burned white hot. He took the phone from Jungkook and threw it across the room. Then he knelt in front of him, hands cupping Jungkook's face. "Look at me. Do you hear me, Jungkook? None of this garbage matters. None of it touches you, but the world believes it." Jungkook choked out. "What if they make you believe it too?" Taehyung's heart cracked. He kissed Jungkook's tears, one after the other, until the younger finally looked at him. His voice was raw when he answered. "Listen carefully. The world could call you every name, tear your image apart, drag you through the mud, and I would still look at you and see the only person who has ever truly loved me." Jungkook's breath hitched, a sob catching in his throat. "I don't care what they say," Taehyung continued, his own eyes glistening. "I care about what we build together. You're not my mistake, Jungkook. You're my miracle." Later that night, Taehyung held Jungkook close, but his mind was already racing. If his fathers and the ex wanted war, then war they would get. Because loving Jungkook in private wasn't enough anymore. Now, he had to protect him in front of the entire world.